Welcome to Food Stories, the show that gives you the story behind some of the world's most popular and beloved food. We'll also serve you with simple recipes, fun facts, and tips in cooking and preparing these food favorites. So what are you waiting for? Let's delve deeper as we tickle your brains and taste buds. This is Food Stories. Tempura. The tempura is a Japanese dish which consists of seafood or vegetables that are battered and deep fried. Sometimes, spices and seasoning are also added to the batter. The cold water and the minimal mixing help give the tempura its fluffy and crispy texture. In 1549, during Japan's closed-door era, only a handful of foreign nations have a sort of limited contact with Japan. One of these countries was Portugal, who sent Portuguese Jesuit missionaries to Nagasaki. The tempura was based on one of the Portuguese dishes that was eaten during the time of Lent, a type of fried battered vegetable. The meal was called ad tempora quaresme, which is actually a Latin description for meals taken at the time of Lent. The Japanese mistook it for the name of the actual dish and sort of transliterated it to tempura, as it was easier to spell and syllabicate that way. The first Japanese tempuras were actually made of battered, minced meat. One of the more famous tempura variant today is arguably the shrimp or prawn tempura. Today, the tempura is one of the most common and loved Japanese dishes outside of Japan. Here's a quick tempura recipe to try out. You will need 1/4 cup corn flour, a pinch of baking soda, 1 egg lightly whisked, 1 cup soda water chilled, plain flour extra to coat, 300 grams or 10.6 ounces king prawns peeled with tails intact. Start by combining the corn flour, bicarbonate, and egg in a mixing bowl. Add in the soda water and whisk lightly until combined. Remember not to overmix. The batter should be lumpy. Once that's done, place the bowl in a larger bowl filled with cold water. Next, take your cooking oil and fill in your pan for deep frying. Heat the oil at high heat for around 10 to 20 seconds. Now, take your shrimp and dip it in the batter and carefully place it in the hot oil. Deep fry it for around 3 to 4 minutes or until golden brown. When cooked, shake off the excess oil and repeat the cooking process for the remaining shrimp. Fun fact: in other parts of the world, variations on the tempura recipe are quite numerous. Some of the more interesting tempuras include banana chip tempura, chive flour tempura, dandelion tempura, and even fried ice cream tempura. Paella. Paella is a Spanish Valencian rice dish that contains meat, vegetables, saffron, olive oil, and other spices and meats. Valencia is one of the areas found near the eastern coast of Spain. The term paella is a Valencian term derived from the French paelle and the Latin patella. Both terms refer to the pan or the cooking dish where the paella is prepared. The paella dish started out as a type of food for the farmers and laborers. During lunchtime, the farmers would cook rice on top of open fires. Whatever was available at the time was then added to the rice. Today, the dish we know as paella exists in various versions around the world. Here's a simple paella recipe to try at home. You will need 2 tablespoons olive oil, 1 tablespoon paprika, 2 teaspoons dried oregano, salt and black pepper to taste, 4 skinless, boneless chicken breasts, cut into 2-inch pieces, 3 cloves garlic, crushed, 2 cups uncooked short-grain white rice, 1 pinch saffron threads, 1 bay leaf, 1 chicken bouillon cube, 1 lemon squeezed, 1 onion chopped, 1 red bell pepper, coarsely chopped, 1 pound chorizo sausage, casings removed and crumbled. First, take a medium-sized bowl and mix together the olive oil, paprika, and salt and pepper. Stir in the chicken and let the mixture coat it properly. Set these aside. Next, take your pan and heat it over medium. Add in the olive oil and sauté the garlic, onion, and rice and chicken. Make sure that the rice is properly coated and the chicken is just a little bit browned. Do this for about 3 to 5 minutes. Next, stir in the saffron, chicken bouillon, and add in 2 cups of water. Bring this to a boil and reduce the heat. Simmer for 20 minutes or until the rice and chicken is cooked. Once that's done, add in the bell peppers and sprinkle in the lemon juice. Fun fact: the traditional way to eat paella is to serve the cooking pan directly on the table. Guests are given their own spoons and are expected to eat the paella directly from the pan. Peanut butter. The peanut butter is a peanut-based food paste which consists mainly of ground-up, dry roasted peanuts. Some peanut butters contain other added ingredients such as salt, seed oils, sugar, and emulsifiers. Peanut butter is usually used as a sandwich spread, which can be eaten as a standalone sandwich or sometimes combined with other food spreads like jam, honey, and chocolate. The peanut butter was invented by a Canadian pharmacist named Marcellus Gilmore Edson. He had the idea of creating a type of peanut paste that could be used as a food substitute for people who had difficulty chewing on solid food. Edson was the first to patent the peanut butter in 1884. Another U.S. patent was issued to John Harvey Kellogg in 1898 for a process of producing alimentary products. The difference being that Kellogg's method involved boiled peanuts instead of roasted ones. Working at Kellogg's, an inventor named Joseph Lambert designed and developed early peanut butter making machines. Here's how you can make peanut butter at home. You will need 2 cups raw shelled peanuts, 1/2 teaspoon kosher salt, plus more to taste, 1 to 2 tablespoons peanut oil or other oil, optional for creamier peanut butter, 1 to 2 tablespoons honey or other sweeteners, optional for sweeter peanut butter. You will also need a blender. First, take your peanuts and line them up in an oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius. Let them sit in the oven for about 10 minutes until the peanuts are lightly golden and a little bit glossy with oil. Once that's done, take the peanuts while they are still warm and place it in the blender for food processing. Use the blender's pulse function and blend the peanut butter in 3 to 5 second bursts. Check in between pulses. As the peanut butter becomes processed at this point, you can pulse the peanuts some more depending on your preferred texture. Gradually increase the pulse time to about a minute or 2 until the peanut butter is scrapable. Mix in the salt, oil, and sweetener and give it a good mix. Once that's done, transfer the peanut butter to a container. Fun fact: 1 acre of planted peanuts can produce enough peanut butter to make 30,000 peanut butter sandwiches. Rice. Rice is the seed of a grass species known as Oryza sativa, Asian rice, or Oryza glaberrima, African rice. Being a cereal grain, rice is one of the most popular staple foods around the world, especially for a huge population of Asia. Rice is considered as the 3rd highest produced crop in the world, just after sugarcane and maize. Humans may have been eating rice for as far back as 2500 BC. Being a versatile crop, rice was easily adopted in more areas of the world. Rice are able to grow and cultivate in a vast array of soil types and climates. Today, rice remains as one of the top staple foods around the world. In 2012, it is estimated that 162.3 million hectares of land is used for rice cultivation. This yields about 738.1 million tons of rice. If you want to make rice at home, check out this simple how-to. You will need 4 cups milled long grain rice, 4 cups water. Start by placing your rice in a large enough pot and just give it a good rinse with tap water. Next, drain the excess and prepare your rice for cooking. Measure the same amount of water with the same measuring cup that you used for your rice. You can scale up the amount if you are expecting more guests, just keep the ratio consistent. Place everything in the pot and heat at medium until the water starts to boil. At this point, take a large spoon and give the rice a good stir. Then lower the heat and let the rice cook with the lid closed. Wait for around 10 to 15 minutes, then check if the rice is cooked. When it's done, uncover the lid and let the rice cool down for a bit before serving. Fun fact: throwing rice at newlyweds just after the wedding is a symbolic tradition that is meant to attract good luck. In ancient times, the rice-throwing tradition used to symbolize fertility, but nowadays, the rice grains symbolize prosperity and abundance. Congee. The congee is a type of rice porridge that is very popular in Asian countries. It can be eaten plain or served with additional ingredients like meats, vegetables, eggs, and other seasonings. Congee is also a popular food prepared for the sick, as it is very light tasting and easy to consume. Congee types vary across different Asian regions, but its characteristic method of thickening boiled rice remains a constant congee feature across different types. The congee can trace its humble beginnings in China. In ancient times, people called the thick porridge chan and the watery porridge chi or mi. Congee is considered as one of the traditional Chinese foods that have been made and consumed for thousands of years. One of the earliest written records about congee comes in the Book of Shu. The book was one of the earliest official historical records of China, written in 636 AD. Congee is also known by many different names across Asia, like the Burmese san pyok, the Cantonese jok, the Indonesian bubur, or the Filipino lugaw, and the Japanese kayu, just to name a few. Making congee is very simple. Check out this quick how-to. You will need 3/4 cup long grain rice, 9 cups water, 1 teaspoon salt. First, rinse the rice as you would when cooking it. Once that's done, place the rice along with the water in a large pot. Place the heat on medium and bring the mixture to a boil. When the mixture is boiling, place the burner on the lowest heat setting and give the rice a good stir. Cover the congee and let it cook for about 40 minutes to an hour, occasionally giving the congee a good stir every few minutes to keep the rice from sticking to the bottom. When the rice is soft and thick, give the congee a dash of salt according to taste. Simmer for about 5 minutes, then let it cool a bit. Serve the congee warm. You can also add in additional seasonings and ingredients if you wish. Fun fact: ancient Kung Fu martial arts practitioners would often eat congee after a day's worth of training. This gave rise to the Chinese idiom, eating congee late at night, which figuratively meant that one trained well as a martial artist for spending the whole day training and helping out at the Kung Fu school. Toffee. The toffee is a type of candy that is made by caramelizing sugar along with butter and sometimes flour. This mixture of ingredients is heated until it reaches the hard crack stage of 149 to 154 degrees Celsius or 300 to 310 degrees Fahrenheit. The hard crack stage is when the mixture produces a loud crunchy crack sound when the mixture is bent. Proper English toffee should be able to make a loud crack when snapped into two. In the US, however, toffee is often soft and is coated with nuts or chocolate. Sometimes, toffee is also mixed with nuts or raisins. It is unclear who invented toffee, and various theories offer conflicting views on its origin. The toffee was a recent invention of the 19th century. The word toffee first appeared in the Oxford English Dictionary in 1825. The origin of the term is pretty much debated up to now. Some suggest that the term toffee is derived from the term tafia, a type of Caribbean dish. Making toffee is very simple, and you can easily replicate the steps at home. Here's how. You will need 1 cup sugar, 1 cup butter, 1/4 cup water. You will also be needing a candy or food thermometer and a baking sheet to line your tray or container. First, heat the sugar along with the butter and water in a large saucepan. Bring the mixture to a heavy boil. Once it boils, reduce the heat to medium. Cook this mixture for about 30 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 degrees Celsius. And remember to keep stirring to keep the mixture from sticking. To check if the mixture is ready, drop a small amount of mixture in very cold water. The mixture should separate into hard brittle threads. Next, while still hot, carefully place the mixture on a tray or container lined with a baking sheet. Spread it evenly and let it cool for about a minute. At this point, you can sprinkle the toffee with nuts and chocolate if you wish. Let everything cool for about an hour in room temperature. When the toffee is set, break the large toffee into small bite-sized pieces for eating. Fun fact: every January 8th is celebrated as the National English Toffee Day. Chocolate. The chocolate is a food preparation of the Theobroma cacao seeds that are roasted, ground, and flavored. It is often brown in appearance and is usually sweetened. Chocolate comes in many forms in both solid and liquid. It is often used as a type of flavoring ingredient in beverages and confectionaries. Early Mesoamerican people like the Mayans and the Aztecs were making chocolate beverages, which they called chocolate, which was a combined Aztec and Nahuatl term. Chococ meaning bitter and ati meaning water or simply bitter water. In the 1600s, the Spanish colonization of Mexico gave rise to the importation of chocolate to Europe, where it became a crowd favorite. The practice of adding sweeteners and flavors was developed by Europeans in response to the natural bitterness of chocolate. In 1847, Joseph Fry learned how to make moldable chocolate by re-adding separated cacao butter back into chocolate. This process would be instrumental in developing the molded chocolate treats that we enjoy today. Most of the popular chocolate companies today, like Hershey's and Cadbury, have had their start in the early 19th century. Let's try making milk chocolate at home. You will need 1/4 cup cocoa powder, 1/4 cup milk powder, 1 cup sugar, 1/2 cup water, 1/4 cup butter, and 1/2 teaspoon vanilla essence. You will also need a mold for the chocolates. First, combine the water and sugar in a saucepan and allow it to boil. When the sugar is dissolved, remove the pan from the stove and add in the butter. Stir until the butter is completely melted. Then add in the milk powder, cocoa powder, and vanilla essence to the mix. Mix everything well and let it cool for a few minutes. Next, take the chocolate molds and brush on a thin layer of butter. Then pour in the chocolate mix until the molds are completely filled. Place the molds in the fridge and let the chocolate harden. When they are done, remove the chocolate from the molds and serve. Fun fact: according to scientific research, the scent of chocolates increases theta brainwaves, which are responsible for inducing relaxation. This explains why people feel relaxed or relieved when they consume chocolates. That's all the time we have for this episode. But join us again next time as we give you more tips, more trivia, and more stories behind the food we all love. Be sure to check in next time for another serving of Food Stories.